Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter. Welcome to Mind Myself Conversations with E. Nadine, we're so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you for having me, Esther. I'm looking forward to chatting.
Awesome. So Nadine, tell us two things. One, how to pronounce your last name, and a little bit about what brings you here today to talk about motherhood.
Hello everyone tuning in. My name is Nadine Stille. That's Stille. It's actually, it means silence in German. That's my background. You won't hear me much silent in the next few minutes, though, I promise. What brings me here? I believe it's a shared passion between yourself and myself of supporting women, specifically in parts of their journey, in today's case actually through motherhood, and how to holistically help moms along.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about your background too, Nadine.
Sure.
What it sounds like you've had a variety of experiences and you've lived in 6 different countries.
True.
So jump in.
Yes, just as diverse as my living history is. You mentioned it, six countries living and working. So is actually my work experience. I started off in the hospitality sector, moved through large and small corporations in different industries. And the one that really struck with me, though, the one that I was really passionate about, is my leadership journey in a global software company. I was a manager there. I led a business women's network. Was my first touch points to or with coaching and mentoring. And my very special project or passion at the time was always women, advancing and helping and supporting women in the workplace. And over the last few years, that really has developed into helping moms with careers in all different aspects, but mainly around balancing the career and the life aspect and where they are in the middle of that. And to really kind of hone in on my skills and what I can help moms with. I've also really invested in my own coaching experience. So I'm accredited through the International Coaching Federation, and I'm a certified mental fitness coach through Positive Intelligence.
Fantastic. And I love that, mental fitness coach, because I'm not a mother. As I've said on some other podcasts, I love children. I'm just not a mother. And I see what mothers go through, and always from the outside, of course, but I see what mothers go through. And our topic today is motherhood energized. But wow, do mothers have a lot to do 24/7. Can you talk a little bit about motherhood and to-do lists and trying to balance it all?
Yeah, you've just touched on it. It's kind of never ending as, motherhood. Motherhood, there's always something to do. And somehow, not just in my own experience, and I want to say I'm a recovered do-it-all mom and business person, but I just know we're specifically moms, have like never-ending massive to-do lists. And if we ever manage to get to the bottom of that list, there's another massive to-do list that we can just add to. It's just like constantly ongoing. And at the same time, it's always about someone else. It's always 24/7 looking out, obviously for kids, but maybe for partners. Then there's work. Then there is you being, a daughter of your parents or your best friends. But hardly ever have I seen someone say, okay, I'm going to put my own well-being, my own desires, my own needs on that to-do list. It's just hardly ever there. And that's where I come in and say, hey, there's a different way of balancing all this out, and let's look at where you get to energize instead of just being drained from everything that's going on. And so, yeah, I think when we originally talked about this, it kind of really resonated as well. And I thought that would be a great thing to talk about, some strategies on how to get energized through motherhood while we're going through motherhood.
Fantastic. And how many kids do you have?
I currently have one. I have no idea how my parents made it with three, or how single moms do it, single parents. It can be a lot. My son was born just a few weeks before the first lockdown here in Canada. My husband's family is here in Canada. My side of the family is over in Europe, and so that whole kind of village and support system that that you'd expect even like before the pandemic was all a bit like reshaped and took on different forms. And it also caused me, just like so many others, to think about what is your village? What does that mean? Where do those people come from as a support system? How can I live through this? How do I want to embrace motherhood and my career and everything through it as well? There was quite a few shifts going on over the last few years, and also that really shaped who I want to help and support going forward, because I've seen what it can be like, and I want to enable more moms to go through that.
Fantastic. Now, I know you've talked a little bit about energy. I want to make sure I get this right. Energy drainers and energy gainers.
Yes.
What's that from your perspective, and how do we pay attention to that?
So energy drainers is everything that kind of just drags you down, that doesn't give you any energy. Energy gainers is everything that does give you energy. And that comes at lots of different, I want to say, levels or perspectives. So we're talking about what type of mindsets drain you or give you energy. What type of activities, give you energy or maybe drain you? Do you absolutely abhor cleaning every week? Or maybe that's something where you're like, hey, this is the best thing, that's just me time. It's like cleaning and I just feel re-energized. It differs from person to person. And it's really to, I encourage moms to do just a list, like take a piece of paper, cross it out, like draw a line down the middle and say, what gives you energy and what drains you? And look at your mindset activities. What people are there in your life that give you energy, and what people, drag you down every time? You feel worse when you've been with them for a while. And where do you get rest? How much rest do you get? You can look at talking about the holistic point of view as well. It's like, where do you get your energy from, or where do you not get energy from when it comes down to nutrition? What you eat, what quality is the food that you're eating, or how you're nourishing yourself. And sometimes, that also includes things like physical activity. How much do you move, if at all? And where does work come in? Does work, when you go to work, is it something that you can't wait to get to do more, to be involved in, because it energizes you, the way you're working, the way you're being appreciated at work? Or is it something that you dread every single day going to? So it's really taking a holistic point of view of, where do you lose energy and where do you gain energy? And sometimes there is a bit of a gray area too, because when the child is being born, the mom is being born too, and you have to re-look at your role. And maybe something that before kiddo came along energized you no longer does. It's just shifting patterns, and you need to kind of have a look. It's like, what is it that actually brings me joy? What is it that lifts me up? And sometimes that just has changed, and then it's a matter of exploring that again. And that's where I come in as well and help. And once we know what really drains you, then we look at, okay, how can we get rid of that or mitigate it or make it smaller? And how can we bring in more of the things that actually, bring us energy, lift us up, brings a smile to our faces?
That's excellent. And I've never heard that before, but I think it's so wonderful when the child is being born, the mother is being born, especially for your first child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's so true. And I imagine that there are many different kinds of women mothers who are going to be looking at this video, and some are probably well resourced and have that village to help raise their kid, and some are coming to this in a place of, oh my gosh, I'm trying to do this all by myself. And that's a really lovely notion of looking at what gives me energy and what drains me. What are some practical tips that someone up against the wall, even if they have support but are just feeling so up against the wall, what are some practical things that you would recommend that a mom can do?
It really differs because what energizes one, the other one doesn't quite finds maybe stimulating. Some things like I would say there's like 3 things that really where you can carve out more time of what you actually like to do, or more time for yourself. One is to delegate and really be open and specific. Hey partner, hey neighbor, hey parents or teachers or whoever is in your life. This is, or even kids, depending on how old they are. But I mean, my 3-year-old helps setting the table and helps me with matching the socks together. It starts early. So it's like, delegate, be really like, you're not longer taking on every single thing. And that's just like, that's one major thing. The other one is a bit related, which is to drop things. Actually stop taking everything on. Just let them be, and see what happens. If the world doesn't end, just don't pick it up again.
And while you're still thinking of the third one, and what to do about the guilt around that. If you drop something, what do you do with your feelings around that?
Oh my God, mom guilt. We can talk about a full separate podcast on that one. My first thought that comes to mind is the mom guilt is, where's the dad guilt? Right? No one ever talks about that. So no, it's super real. Like mom guilt is real, and it's awful to feel that way. Totally. The best things I've found that work against that is to talk about it openly, with friends, with other people. Everyone's kind of, well, all the moms that I know are going through it. So the more light you shine on it, the more you take the power out of it. You feel less alone in it, and just acknowledge it. And the second part around it is to, around mom guilt, is to kind of impersonate it a bit. I'm sure like everyone hears some sort of like tone or voice or whatever in their mind when mom guilt is coming up. Well, I should have known that better, or why didn't I do this better? It's like there's always a bit of an attitude to mom guilt, to the mom guilt voice. And then just say, hey, I don't have time for you. Just like go. Shake it off, like sometimes physically shake it off. Or I know someone who's like brushing it off their shoulders. You know how you sometimes have the devil and the angel, and it's like, no, I don't have time. So it's like, not even, sometimes people say it, but it's just like brushing it off. And like, I don't have time for you today. I'm super busy. I'm running a business. I'm raising a kid. I have dinner to cook, or whatever it is. Like, just go away. And sometimes that type of attitude already can help as well. You acknowledge and move on. It takes a bit of practice, but I encourage everyone who's listening and who that resonates with just to give it a try, because it takes a bit of it makes it a bit fun as well in some way. It puts a bit of drama to it, but also, it acknowledges it, but it does help. So that would be my 2 tips on the mom guilt.
Excellent. So
like I said, there's lots to talk about.
Oh, totally. We could go there, but that's a really great beginning for it. I love it. So the first thing is to know that even if you're a single parent, you're not alone and there are things you can get help with. And the second thing is to acknowledge what to drop, including some of the guilt. And you said you had one more thing around that.
Yes, which is, I think there's the saying, two needs with one deed, or something like that, right? It's like do multiply or multitask nearly. So it's like look at where you can do several things at the same time. If you have a goal, or you kind of want to spend more time with your friends, but you also need to maybe exercise and go outside and be a lot more like take the fresh air in, etc. It's like make a conscious effort to combine all these three. So you're inviting your best friend along, take your kids, and you're going for a run or a jog or a walk just around the park together. If you'd want to learn something new, like a new skill, but you also maybe want to read a bit more and have some you time, then maybe pick up a podcast or an audiobook, pop it on your head and do it while you're putting the socks together or whatever. But it's like doing the like combining several tasks mindfully. It's like just seeing where you can pick things out. You don't have to be like exclusive. First I do this, then I do that. But there's ways to kind of save time, make it a bit more fun and enjoyable as well. So that would be my my third point around that.
Well, where has the time gone, Nadine? We're almost at the end here. So to wrap up, what is something you'd like to leave the listener with today?
So if someone wants to have a bit of some calm moments, a moment to just for yourself, like feel more grounded and calm, and recenter yourself for whatever is lying ahead, then you can go to my website, or actually the link you mentioned, you'll be able to put a link in the notes to get
for sure.
Mama's Moments of Calm. Those are really short guided meditations that I recorded for any aspect of your life. So there's a couple there that you can tune in, pop it on your head while out on the go, or before you wake up in the morning. There's even one that's kind of calming and preparing you as part of a healthy sleep routine as well, so you get better rest. That's freely available on my website, and for anyone who wants to have that, just click that link that you're going to include in this. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Nadine. And just before you go, we will be putting a number of other resources in the description with the video, so you could reach out to Nadine directly. And we're going to be doing another podcast. It's going to dive a little bit deeper into self-nurturing. So if you've gotten a little taste of the one today, then check out the next one too, because then it would be a deeper dive into what can I do to nurture myself as a mother. Exactly. So thank you, Nadine, for being here, and thank you, listeners. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious, and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guests directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions, and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.